This is the Realty Classroom Podcast, episode number 49. You must know your offer. Are you a real estate agent with an entrepreneurial spirit who wants to turn your job into a business without sacrificing your lifestyle, but you just can't seem to find the right plan to help you get there? Well, then, hey, you're definitely in the right place. I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the Realty Classroom and the host of this podcast. And to help you take immediate action to build a better real estate agent business, I've created a free jumpstart course for you over at freeagentgift.com. Get over there. It's on demand. It's good for all you veterans and agents. You always have to be working on your business. All right, let's get started here. In this episode, I want to cover the topic, you must know your offer. You must. And I know this is going to sound like the obvious, but you know what I love to do? I love to practice and preach and teach the obvious. We just don't do a good enough job of that. We're always trying to make this business so esoteric and pretend that we don't know enough. And all this insecurity crops up when the truth is, it's as simple as knowing your offer to your buyers, your sellers, and if you're recruiting agents. So the first point is start here. Have conversations about real estate. Yes, about real estate. I know it sounds completely ridiculous, but the question is, a lot of real estate agents, especially when they're coming to me for the first time, they ask me the question is, well, what do I do every day? Well, you have conversations about real estate. First of all, don't quit your day job. Okay. I know there's going to be contrary advice to that. And if somebody is providing you with appointments, perhaps there's a reason to treat it like a job. But you know where I'm coming from. I'm presuming that if you're listening to this podcast, you hear me say that this is a business, and you don't get into a business that's one of the largest financial transactions in somebody's life and just boom, you turn on the switch and everything is rolling the way that you want it to. Okay. This is a business. So you need cash flow coming in so that you're not doing this and growing this under the state of anxiety. But the first thing that you're going to do is recognize you probably got into real estate because you two were having a lot of conversations about it. It became interesting to you. The pictures, the details, who paid what for this. All of those things are very interesting. Real estate is a very compelling industry and product. It's very, very interesting to us. So we find ourselves in these conversations, but now let's presume that you have your license. You are a professional realtor. So what do? You start having professional conversations about real estate. Well, what do you mean? I don't know what that means. Well, first of all, let's get to the next point and maybe we can get the how-to. You see, the next point here is you want to be prepared to answer a simple question. How's the market? Right? You're going to hear that all the time. In fact, you probably asked it of your real estate agent friends or people who are in the business for years and never even recognized it. It's almost like a knee-jerk reaction type of question that we have for real estate agent. How's the market? Similar to stockbrokers. How's the market, right? We're always wondering, or used cars, whatever. It could be anything. How's the market for that thing? That's what Business 101 is. We're curious as to what it means. And sometimes we don't even really hear the detailed answer. We just ask it. So I think what would be compelling, or I don't think what would be, what's compelling is somebody who can actually intelligently answer that question. So a lot of people that are new panic at this moment. They say, well, it takes years of experience. Maybe not. Maybe not. And let me just say this right now. If you would simply, once you become an agent and presuming that you've joined a local board and you're now a member of the multiple listing service, which is the marketplace, set yourself up as if you were a buyer or seller client that you would be having conversations with. In other words, pretend and act as if you're about to buy a property in that marketplace, or you're about to sell in that marketplace. That's what you want to do, is act as if you are the consumer who's about to ask you the question, how's the market? So for example, as much as I've been around this business as teacher, doer, and a consumer, I want to know more about the downtown Boston market. About 3 years ago, I set myself up to act as if I were going to buy that day because I want to. So I started to look day after day after day after day at those details, and I became quite expert in knowing the math and knowing what agents do and they don't do. And boy, I tell you, in that marketplace, agents have gotten away with very little marketing. I'm seeing some horrible pictures, no floor plans. I mean, no real description that's compelling. It's amazing when markets get good, how lazy we get. So I'll tell you how the market's been in downtown Boston. Too good. It's been too good. In fact, it's pushed away a lot of buyers like me. I can't do it, right? I have to wait for a correction. But I know in a detailed way exactly what's going on there because I set myself up in the back of MLS to receive properties that sold. Hey, by the way, there's that double underline again that I like to throw out during the podcast. You want to be looking at properties that sold. That's actually the stuff that's telling you how the market really is. I know we all want to talk about inventory. Is it up or down? There's no inventory. Oh my gosh. What? Just go in there and see what sells and what it sold for, how long it was on the market, what features it offered, and what benefits you got by paying the price. That's how you know the answer to how the local market is, because you can begin to refer to a fistful of very specific sales in a short period of time. Well, funny you should ask. I was just noticing that at this price level, this happened. And the irony is a house at the same price level went even faster because it was better prepared. That's a real intelligent way to answer the question about how's the market. All right, let's get on to the next point here. Let's keep rolling. The next point here is determine the interest level during that conversation with intentionality. Meaning, here we're now cognizant we're supposed to be having professional conversations about real estate. We now know that how we do that is we educate ourselves as if we were the buyer and seller by setting ourselves up for auto updates in MLS or multiple listing service. And then next is once you get into real conversations, just start off and you go back and watch, give, ask, or listen to the last podcast. You can really see me talking about giving this information about how the market is, educating somebody. But don't be afraid in that moment to do the asking. That's simple. You're not really asking for anything other than their timing. Hey, were you thinking about buying something? Hey, were you thinking about selling in this market? Do you have a house that you own? That's a very innocuous or harmless ask in the context of this answer to how's the market. It's a nice little tennis match. It's a give and take. I give you a little bit of market info. You give me a little bit of your interest level or not. But you're being intentional in that moment. Because remember now, we are professionally having a conversation and then we're saying, why are you asking? Are you considering? Do you know somebody who's considering? And see, that intentional moment is so that you can then thereby go out and get somebody to follow up with. Meaning what? Remember how you set yourself up as a prospect? Well, if I'm intentionally having that conversation with somebody and they really are interested, now you can start to deal with your offer. And this is the real point of this thing, okay? You want to offer further information and updates about the market once intentionally you have discovered that they have some interest. For today's podcast, I'll keep it inside of 12 months. There are follow-up systems that I've built for my own business that could last really forever. We could follow up with you forever if we decide to. But for your case, look for people that are going to make this massive financial decision inside of, say, the next 12 months with intentionality. And now get your offer ready, okay? And what you want to offer is your information plus you and your insights. Okay, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this here before I let you go today. This is really important. I think you're all trying to come up with these crazy, unique selling propositions and why they should do business with you. And why don't you just recognize that what makes you unique is you, the way that you care for them, the way that you deliver the information to them, the way that you, more importantly than anything else, interpret that information. So you see why I gave you the first piece of advice, so that when we arrive at the offer, you're well prepared to believe in the offer. Hey, do you know that this same offer I'm making you, I did for myself. I set myself up on the MLS. I gave myself a portal on the back end as if I were you. And I get these updates and they're so helpful. I can't believe, even as a realtor, how insightful they are. Now, what I would be doing is giving you that same doorway into the multiple listing service. I know, keep using all those apps online. They're great. But this is a direct doorway into the marketplace that I can refine to be specifically pursuing the knowledge that you're trying to gain before you buy or sell. And because I can see it and I'm controlling its flow to you, I will call you on a periodic timetable that we both agree on. And I'm being a little bit dramatic here to illustrate the point. Somebody's 12 months out for real and they're not getting a job transfer for, that 12-month period. Well, then you don't have to bug them. You're not going to call them every week. You're going to get down the road with them, adding these insights. And I just had this in a coaching call right before recording this podcast. People say, well, what do I say when I pick up the phone again? You made the offer to give somebody access to information. And I know they have it in the public. I get it. I get that they can get it. Get over that. This is about you. Your offer to them is you getting them in there and adding your follow-up, your insight. Okay? Because your professional insight matters, or why are you in this business? And again, you don't have to have years and years of experience. It's simply stating, hey, did you see this one down there on Avery Street? It sold for this. I couldn't believe it. Looks like the market's starting to correct. This might be that opportunity to get out there and see some of this stuff, right? That's insightful conversation that makes you unique to them in their hyper-specific situation, okay? So very, very important. Act through your whole process for buying and selling as if you are that person. And again, I'm only touching lightly today on the initial offer. Why they should go from the conversation about real estate to a continual relationship with you, or a continued relationship with you. Again, intentionally, you have to make sure they have some serious interest inside 12 months. But once they do, make the offer. Hey, did you know that I could set you up just like I set myself up? It's really helpful and it's insightful. And that's what they want, by the way. That's what they want. They want access to that information that's pertinent to them, and they will be really happy if you give it to them, and they will reward you with the ability to follow up, okay? So let's go back and just reiterate these points. You must know your offer. And you start in this whole process by starting with professional conversations about real estate. You better be prepared to answer how's the market by setting yourself up on the back end and really looking at your hyper-local market and what sells. Stay focused on that first. I'm okay with the rest of it, but know what sells and how long it took to sell it and what you got for it. And then determine their interest in pursuing relationship with you with intentionality. Don't go, hey, I got a great relationship with that guy at, the restaurant. And, well, what was he doing? I don't know, because you weren't intentional. And then lastly, remember that this follow-up, when you make this offer to give them access through your portal, that it actually comes with you and your unique insights, and that there's no pressure. You're not going to bug them. When they're ready, they're ready. And you do this because you love it. And this is just how this business works. All right? Let's summarize a key point. It's critical to be comfortable with that offer of insightful guidance. Believe in yourself. You are insightful and you are the guide. That's why you're in the business. And remembering that you're never replaceable by just information. If you were, we'd already all been out of business. We've been around long enough where this information is online, but guess what? Here we are, all of us real estate agents, still plugging away because we're irreplaceable, because we add insight, not just information, okay? Hey, remember, you can take immediate action and get started in a better direction or the right direction with our free video course over at freeagentgift.com. We also broadcast our live sales training on Facebook every Friday at 1 o'clock. So remember to like our page or turn on the notifications so you remember, come and just listen. I don't care if you eavesdrop, just sit there, say hello, give us one of those Facebook waves. And if you like what you learned here today, listening to this, watching this, if you're on YouTube, wherever you are, then we'd appreciate it if you would share these insights with other entrepreneurial real estate agents just like you so that everybody can join us here, man. Let's share this. That's what I want to do. I do this for that reason. Share it, give it away. And of course, don't forget to subscribe or follow us on whichever platform you prefer, where you're listening, where you're you're watching, whatever it might be. And we don't want you to miss these insights because they're cohesive and they follow my coaching program at an elite level and I chunk them up. So use this stuff. Hey, thanks for listening. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode, and we're humbled by the opportunity to help you. Thanks.